if when we go to look for an attorney locally, what are questions we can use to, vet these attorneys to see which one's a good one, which one's maybe not worth his weight in salt?
Yeah, great questions. The first thing to look at is ask them if they do probate work. Do they do the administration work? I see a lot of crappy plans come from attorneys even where they don't have a clue how it works on the back end after someone passes away or after someone is disabled. So I would start there and say, do you guys do that type of work? Are you experienced in that? Another thing is, do they have a plan to make sure that your trust is funded? What funded means is after you create a trust, do you get your assets inside of it? I'll go through this presentation with people when we meet with them. A single trust is what I would recommend, something like this for you. Mm-hmm. And then we'll talk about, how to get your bank accounts in there and your life insurance. And if you have any retirement accounts, mm-hmm. Sometimes you want to name your kids as individuals as the beneficiaries. But other times you'll want to name the trust, depending on what your trust is designed to do. If your kids are adults, you don't need to hold the money back for a period of time, then you can name your kids as the beneficiaries. So one of the other questions to ask the attorneys is, do you have a plan to help you fund the trust? So that's number 2.
When you say to fund the trust, exactly what do you mean?
Yeah, good question. No one knows what that means. Attorneys, it's a phrase attorneys use, but I think people don't understand it. Here's what I mean by that. So here's you up here, Mom.
Uh-huh.
And you don't have a trust yet. So maybe you have a house, maybe you have some bank accounts. Here you are, here's your stuff. Mm-hmm. So if you create a trust, create the legal document, a lot of people, they'll create a nice document, they get a beautiful binder, but they never change the ownership of their bank account into the trust. So when I say fund the trust, I mean get your bank account in there, get your house in there, and set up the beneficiary designations on retirement accounts.
Okay. So in other words, when they create a trust, they're just creating a blank. A
bucket is what I say. It's a bucket, an empty bucket.
Uh-huh.
So funding it is filling up the bucket. Getting things inside of it.
Okay.
And when the things go inside of it, they are still in the name of my mother, or they're now in the name of the trust?
Good question. So single trust, can you see Mr. Estate there? He's got a house,
bank
account, an IRA, life insurance. So create the trust. It's revocable. He's the trustor, the person that creates it, the trustee, which is the manager, and the beneficiary. So transfers his house, bank account in there. The IRA stays outside, but he'll name beneficiaries. Same thing with life insurance. So going back to your question, so who's the owner once the accounts are in there?
Right.
So if this is you, Mom, and your account's in the name of the trust, the way it's set up, it's Mom Johnson, trustee of your trust.
Okay.
So you are the trust.
Okay.
So you still have full control as the trustor, the one that created it, use this briefcase, and the trustee.
Got it.
Part 2 is, do they have a plan to help you fund your trust? I'll show you here's our estate planning timeline. So we do the first meeting, we call it a personal family legal session. That's where we talk about, we figure out what plan is needed, and then quote a fee for the right plan for them. And then we'll get drafting instructions, so details of who you want to be in charge and things like that. And then you have the signing meeting, which we do virtually with the attorney. And I'm moving in, that's where I'm going to be adjusting our processes to see how we do that virtually 100%. But right now we meet with the attorney via a screen share to review all the documents, and then everything is signed. And we have a third meeting that we call the trust asset coordination session. So this is where we help you, we make a plan on where everything goes, and we make sure that you know what it means to fund your trust, or at least that you'll get it done. At least you know how to do it.
Okay.
So everything that's included in our packages, the trust package. So it includes last will and testament, healthcare power of attorney, mental health care power of attorney and living will, and a financial durable power of attorney. So you're going to want all of those things. Now, digital asset language. This is something that's unique to Mott Legal. And this is something that I'm spreading the word and letting other attorneys practice in my Mott Legal way. So this is Dana and Associates, a fee agreement for my law firm in Arizona and California. And it's actually, copyright the Mott Legal processes.
Nice.
So this is what I'm opening up to other attorneys to use basically the same fee agreement, same style, and offer digital asset language. All right, Mom Johnson, digital assets. Did you know you have digital assets?
Digital assets.
Yeah.
I am clueless as to what that really means.
No, most people are, so don't worry. So what digital assets are, it's your information that's being stored on your behalf electronically. So even if you don't own a computer, you live 100% paper and analog, I guarantee your bank is storing your information electronically.
Okay.
So you have a right in that information. So that's what digital assets are. So all of our plans, we give people a place to store their documents electronically. Everplans is a software company that does it, but we provide the license for that. So great. I love this question. So number one, do they do trust administration and probate? Number two, is there a way where they're going to make sure your trust is funded, meaning you get your assets in there and update your beneficiaries? Do they have a plan for your digital assets? And is there a way to store your documents electronically?